Hello YouTubers and welcome to yet another Versus Beers. And today we're pitting up two brewers famous for their hazy IPAs. We're pitting up Monkish against Treehouse. These two beers I chose to try and pit against each other because they're a bit similar in terms of being more bright IPAs. Most of the stuff that Monkish does is really bright. In Treehouse, a lot of it, it lends over to a more classic New England profile with lots of juice and everything, where Treehouse is a bit more bright and dank. And I've been told from a lot of people that this specific one is a bit more dank and bright. And this series often is, which is the Juice Project series. The hops are completely different though, but it's both two double hazy IPAs or New England hazy IPAs, one in the West Coast interpretation and one in a classic Northeast haze interpretation. So we got Treehouse's Juice Project Citra and Idaho 7 edition on 8.4%. This double IPA was canned on the 3rd of February, so we need to get this drunk. We're over 4 weeks. Now the beer's bad. TMOH IPA? No, we're going to be good. It says, who grows the best potatoes? Okay. And we're going to be battling it against the Monkish Drip Mode. This is a double dry hop double IPA on 8.3% with a very cool combo of Strata, Enigma, Galaxy, and Brawaka hops. And as I've been saying to a lot of people, these guys, Monkish, they know how to work Galaxy. Galaxy is probably my favorite producer of IPAs with Galaxy hops. I think we should start with a Treehouse. And again, it's not 100% fair, maybe, because this one is a little bit fresher. The hops are not totally, the same. And also because this is this double dry hop. I don't think they double dry hop. Well, maybe it says that they dry hop it even more than any other Treehouse beers in the Juice Project series. So I guess it's fine. We'll see. It's just a bit of fun. See which one we prefer the most. So yeah, let's start off with the Juice Project's Citra and Idaho 7. It looks very much like what I expect from Monkish. Because if you hold them up, they're very similar colors. But Treehouse has more of a thick, silky, velvety look to it. From reference and whatnot, I also think Treehouse usually has better mouthfeel than Monkish. Monkish is just more hop-centric and bright. And I saw some people, and there's so many fanboys from these breweries that are, typical fanboys. There's too many hop pellet flavors in Monkish. It's like there's no hop pellet flavors in Monkish. At least if you drink it, within after a few weeks of canning, maybe when it's dead fresh. But I think some of the Treehouse stuff we had dead fresh was more palate fatiguing than some of the Monkish we've had. And the same goes with Monkish fanboys. Some people think, this is too sweet and juicy. Both are really nice. It's just whatever you prefer. But this, they look much similar than other Treehouse beers we've had as of late. Yeah, hazy, golden, bright, and yellow. Let's check out the aroma on Juice Project. Yeah, it smells more towards, what Monkish does. It's very pin bright and very dank, but it has much more of a sweet, juicy profile. Like that classic Northeast overripe kind of bubblegummy thing. Really loads of that kind of sweet, Wrigley's Juicy Fruit bubblegum. And a big dankness, both from, I guess, Idaho 7 and Citra. And it also has this, classic Citra aroma of, just, sweet citrus fruit and a bit of sweeter tropical fruit. And Idaho 7 lends, more brightness, I think. It has that, really nice kind of passion fruity and pineapple-y thing. It smells a lot like how Monkish does IPAs, just with more of a sweet yeast profile. It smells really good, actually. Let's give it a taste, guys. Cheers. Whew, that is hop-centric. Really intense. Loads of Citra in terms of sweet tropical fruit, and then goes into crazy tartness. It almost tastes like Treehouse trying to do a Monkish beer, to be honest. It just has a much more scraping hop flavor than other Treehouse beers. It's got a nice fluffy mouthfeel, but it's also not as fluffy as a lot of the other beers. I think it was a good idea. It was this one that I picked for it. But man, that's totally different ballpark in terms of a more bright IPA. It has an interesting, almost kind of gasoline-y, diesel kind of hop thing because it's so intensely hoppy. It's not all the way in chewing on pellets, but sometimes when these beers are super hop saturated, I can get a little bit of almost diesel gasoline type of nuances to it. But otherwise, it's big dankness, popping brightness, and citrus and lemon, and also again that sweet kind of juicy fruit, Wrigley's bubblegum ester, but not as much as in other Treehouse beers. I think this has more of a hop bite than most of the Monkish beers I've had, which is pretty interesting. But it's nice. It's really nice. It's a really good double IPA. Maybe not top tier Treehouse, but really good. Let's move on over to drip mode. So drip mode is a little, not as strong. It's 8.3%, but they're in the same territory. And this was one with Strata, Galaxy, Enigma, and the final hop being Riwaka. And I think Riwaka is something that they've really also started to work with at Monkish. They've done it in a few IPAs now. And, you know, yeah, as I said, they look very much the same. That pin bright golden yellow hazy color with a nice off-white head. Let's check out the aroma on this one. Okay, aroma-wise, Treehouse actually wins. Treehouse just sings and pops a bit more, interestingly enough. They're about the same age, but this is a bit less, like almost like that dense hop diesel-y thing. It doesn't have that really, it's just more like a bit more mellow, if you can say that. It has more of a combination of both like bright, tart, kind of tropical fruit vibes, but also some sweeter, overripe tropical fruit. This is mostly like a tropical fruit punch bowl, though. Not as much citrus and lemon and whatnot as in and juice product. Okay, it's actually quite intense. The more I smell it, yeah, I don't know if they actually get it on Treehouse. No. Actually, the aroma is it's a bit softer, actually, interestingly enough. It smells really fucking good, though. Super tropical and more, like, also pin bright, but more towards, like, tropical, like, this kiwi, and there's, like, passion fruit and pineapple. A little less dankness on the nose, but there's definitely a little bit. And then it has a little bit of that kind of galaxy melon vibe, but it smells really good, too. Let's try it, guys. Cheers. Oh, yeah. That's really fucking great. I don't think neither of these are as good as some of the other IPAs we had from both breweries. In the huge shipment, I got a Monkish and Treehouse and all kinds of stuff. But it's really nice. They're very similar beers, actually, even though this has a boatload of different hops. This is also very pin bright, but it doesn't have that diesel-y hop thing. And it also feels, even though it's double dry hop, it feels less hop saturated in terms of having like just a strong hoppy, I don't want to say pellety flavor, but that's an off thing. But if you've ever, like the bottom of a can or a keg of IPA, New England IPA, often you have a lot of like hop particles in the bottom, like this yellowy sludge. I think a lot of it is lupulin powder. And you get that in kind of both beers a little bit, but you get it much more in Treehouse, like that almost palate fatiguing. Actually, it maybe reminds me a bit more of an other half IPA, this, than Monkish, now that I think of it. Because it reminds me of going there and you know, at other half and drinking their beers, just with more of a, you know, Treehousey expression. But they are both more of a hop-centric, you know, type of hazy IPA than what Treehouse usually does, for example. Oh, they're real nice, though. The Monkish one is just so much more pleasant to drink. It's got like that really nice galaxy note that they just really nail at Monkish. That super nice sweet melon flavor with pin bright like dankness, and then also not as much dankness though as in the Treehouse, interestingly enough. But then also like really nice that pineapple passion fruit. There's like a bit of kiwi, almost going into that like southern hemisphere kind of grape thing. Almost, you know, lightly sweaty, but not all the way that kind of sweaty dank thing. It's just almost there. Whereas this it might, you know, be a bit more dank. But I know Idaho 7 also goes like really dank. But it's really fun because I'm very glad I chose to battle these two because they are quite similar in terms of, you know, the type of New England IPA it is. I mean, this almost smells like an attempt at making that kind of West Coast and Northeast hybrid that I think Monkish kind of does. And to some extent, some of other halves beers. I mean, other halves, I think they're maybe a bit more scraping than like Monkish. They can get like a bit too fatiguing to drink. Whereas I think both of these are less fatiguing to drink than other half. Actually, yeah, both are really good beers. It's hard to say which one I prefer the most. It's like by margins, They're very close, but I'm just gonna give it to Monkish. And I know I seem like a total Monkish fanboy, especially with all my reviews as of late. I just fucking love their profile of IPA because it's so hoppy and intense, and it's fairly juicy too, but it's not all juice. It's got so much dankness and singy brightness and lots of tropical fruit vibes and whatnot. It's just more pin bright, and I love that character, especially when you get paired with some of the like classic juiciness and everything. Just because it's a bit, yeah, it's kind of like a slight breath of fresh air. It's a little bit like West Coast Dun Haze, because you have all that dankness. There's a little bit of bitterness, more so in other New England IPAs, and then also that kind of sometimes it has like earthiness, sometimes a little bit of oniony, garlicky, even piney flavors. You don't often get that in classic Northeast IPA, but I'm gonna give it by margins. They're really damn good though. So I don't want to go world class with neither of them. I think they're close, but they're not really the best of the best I've had from either breweries. But let's go like a 94, I think, on the Monkish drip mode, and then just a 93, a grade lower on the Treehouse juice product Citra Idaho 7. It's really nice. I love that it's more pin bright and quite not like just like crazy gushing juice as a lot of other Treehouse beers are. And also it does have that sweet, like nice velvety mouthfeel, and the yeast profile and everything. It's just done a bit different, which I really enjoy. It leads to more towards some of their like doppelganger or alter ego or green, and these kind of IPAs are not like just like super sweet citrus and everything and all that. But yeah, all of these or both of these are fucking great. I'd be happy to drink any of them again. So if you guys had a chance to try either Monkish Drip Mode or Treehouse Juice Project Citra Idaho 7, let me know what you thought of them. Which one did you think was the winner? If you've had either, let me know. And let's just do a quick cuvee. Now that's fucking good. Juice Project Drip Mode. I must say though, I feel like a lot of people said on like online, I read there was mostly Treehouse forums, but they said like Monkish was more palate fatiguing to drink. I don't think so. At least not with the latest beers I've had from Treehouse. That's just my opinion. I feel like they're a bit more saturated actually on I don't know if they use more hops or what they do. Just a bit more saturated in terms of slightly being palate fatigued from drinking it, but still fabulous, world class. Most of it. These are almost world class, but fabulous beers. So if you had either of these two guys, let me know. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I'm gonna say cheers in my favorite, which I think I prefer over the cuvee, and say cheers and see you guys in another beer review.